Hi everyone and welcome to episode 10. I can't believe it, it's episode 10 of the Books, Hooks and Yarn video podcast. This is a podcast mostly about knitting, a little bit of crochet, very rarely hand-dyed yarn, very rough hand-dyed yarn, occasionally some sewing, mostly knitting, and at the moment not even that much of that. I apologise for any background noise. That's my cat Peaches. She is purring. My name's Crystal. I am a mum of two beautiful girls who are actually home with me at the moment, so that is why I'm in my bedroom. One's watching a movie, one's playing in her room. Hopefully I can get through this without too much editing, so with not many distractions or disturbances. But one's 3.5 and the other one's 6, so sorry guys, it's probably going to be quite a bit of editing. It is Tuesday, the 2nd of March today. Autumn started yesterday and it might as well be winter already because it is freezing here. I have considered putting my heater on so many times already this morning and thought, nope, survive with jumpers, scarves and blankets and slippers for now, okay? Hand knit socks are going to be very much a trend this winter in our house, I think. Speaking of which, I guess we get straight into it. I have no finished objects this week. Almost. I can't say I tried so hard because I didn't. I kind of went, if I don't get it finished, I get it finished. So I guess technically we're straight into whips. Alright, works in progress. I'm still working on, sorry, I'm just putting all my stuff here, so I will be reaching backwards and forwards, sorry. I'm still working on my blue socks. I'm so close to finishing. I'm on the foot now. So this is where I was up to last podcast. This is where I'm up to now. I'm up to the foot. So yes, this is being knitted up on my Bendigo Wool Mills undyed sock yarn, and I dyed it myself. This is my Summer Skies. This is what I call it. My husband's always so amazed that I dyed that myself. Not sure if I should enjoy his I can't believe you did that, or if I should be offended that he doesn't think I did that. So yes, it's very pretty. There's my holes there from where I picked up my stitches, but that's okay. Very, very pretty. Sky looks nothing like that today, but that's okay. I'm knitting these on, hold on, I have 68 stitches. Supposed to be 72, the other sock is 72, but I ran out of my long tail cast on, so I did 68. But the first sock was supposed to be 68 stitches, so I figured I might as well try it with the second sock and see how it goes. I mean, what's a 4-stitch difference? And I'm knitting them on 2.75 millimeter US 2s, and they're just a 9-inch circular. So I follow the Crazy Sock Lady. She has a tutorial on YouTube. I'll pop it down here. How to knit socks on a 9-inch circular tutorial. And I have followed that for every single pair of socks I've knitted except for my daughter's tube socks. So yeah, that's almost done. I've only really been working on that and my sock head cowl because I have been working. I went back to work and I've been working, and I take that and the cowl along with me to knit on because they're little, they fit in my bag, and it just works perfect. So this is my cowl. This is how much I've done on my cowl. I take this one everywhere with me because I'm literally just working on stocking that stitch. So I've taken it to the movies, I've taken it out to dinner, I've taken it for school drop-off pickups because I sometimes have to sit there for about 15 minutes. I take it to, we haven't been to ballet since the last podcast because I had to work and we're supposed to go today, but I've got both kids home with us upset tummies, so I'm not sure if we'll be going today. But normally I would take my socks with me, and that's why I haven't done much. So that's where I was up to last time. This is where I'm up to now. These are both stitch markers from Marie of Obsession Yarns. I cannot rate these stitch markers high enough. They never get snagged on my knitting. They're the perfect weight for, like, this is a fingering and a mohair held together, and this does not catch or drag or anything on there, so that's absolutely amazing. So that's her stitch markers. I have a little bird there, and I think that's called the triquetra. No, background noise, sorry about that. I'm not sure what that one's called. I'll have to put it down there, but it reminded me of Charmed, so that's why I grabbed it. All right, that was the first disturbance over and done with. Someone needed the toilet. Mum life. I was talking about my cow. Yes, so if you're in need of some stitch markers, I would suggest heading over to Obsession Yarns. Marie is wonderful to deal with and her stitch markers are awesome. I actually have more to show you later. So this is the sockhead cowl. It's free on Ravelry. There's also a sockhead beanie that matches. I made a couple of differences. I didn't do the ribbing you're supposed to do. I did a 4x4 ribbing and I didn't make it as long. It's supposed to be like 10 centimeters and I think I only did maybe 2 inches, maybe 2.5. Not quite even that, I don't think. And that's fine because it's what I wanted. I am actually thinking that this is going to be finished soon because I don't want a great big bulky one. I do have quite a large face. So yeah, it's not much room between my chin and my chest. So I just want it, yeah, I think I'll maybe do another 10 rows or so and then I'll probably do the ribbing. I'm doing fairly well for yarn, or I don't really want to have that much left over, so maybe I just keep going until I'm running a bit lower on wool on yarn. So I'm using a sock yarn from Stitchcraft and Wizardry. This is, I'd think it in my own head if it wasn't screwed on. No, if I wasn't always wearing it, sorry. It's from their Beatrix Potter collection. Jemima Puddle Duck. It is on their House Elf Liberty sock base, which is a Harry Potter reference. And it's absolutely beautiful. I recommend Stitchcraft and Wizardry's yarn very much. This is also from Marie of Obsession Yarns. This is a custom mohair that she did for me and it's absolutely beautiful. I have another 50 grams of it too and I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for, but it's going to be just as delightful and soft and squishy as this. So I'm holding them together and they are just perfect. They're very much complementing each other. I love that this is pale without being white, so that those little pops of colour in there actually match the pops of colour in the mohair. So it's really just perfect. I was so glad that I had this one in my stash to go with the mohair. So that's my cowl. Hoping that'll be finished soon because the weather's starting to turn. It'll be perfect to start wearing it soon. Excuse me, so I can see a bit of mohair fluff flying around. This is another thing I've been working on. I didn't actually show you guys last episode because I actually forgot that I've been working on it. I ordered some minis from Melbourne City Dye Works a little while ago when I ordered my mother-in-law's Christmas present. And then Melody from Dragonfly Yarn helped me pick the perfect 100 gram skein to go with it to make a shawl. And not long ago I decided to cast it on. I think I did already mention in an episode that I cast it on. I'm doing the Grain shawl by Tin Can Knits because I just wanted a simple triangular shawl that I could then add the big blocky stripes of colour from the minis in. So this is how much I've done. It doesn't look like much, but sock yarn is like, does not work up quickly. So this is how much I've done. So I think the last time I showed it, I was up to the cowl. And from the cowl is how much I've done since then. So this one I don't take anywhere with me. I have it, the pattern, because on one side is when you do your yarn overs and the other side is when you just knit. So I've got that written down on a post-it note and I just kind of keep it in my like diary and to-do lists and stuff like that. So when I'm sitting down doing things like budgeting and grocery list shopping and stuff like that, and it's right there in front of me, that's when I sit down to do that. So it's not very often, it's only once a week or so that I work on it. But look at that yarn, how beautiful is that? I love it, and my little cow there. I can't wait to see this when it's finished. So I actually learnt something new. I did a tab cast on, I think it's called, a guarded tab cast on, I think it's technically called. So there was two different kinds. There was one where you do a provisional cast on and then pick up it all, like do the little tab and then pick up the stitches and keep going. I've done a provisional cast on before when I did my daughter's Harvest cardigan from Tin Can Knits. I wasn't a huge fan, especially with fine yarn. So I decided to just do a normal cast on, and then I just picked up the stitches around the edges anyway, which worked, I think, just as beautifully. Like, that looks gorgeous to me. I'm obviously not a professional, I'm a beginner. I just like to learn new things and challenge myself a bit. So for all I know, it's a hot mess, but for me and my expectations, I think it looks pretty good. So I'm happy with it. I will keep working on that because I think that is just going to be the most delightful thing to wear. I should probably mention that the 100-gram skein I'm using is Empathy. It's a 75-25, so 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon from Dragonfly Yarns. It's Empathy. And it's just like it's actually a pretty good representation on screen. It's like a light, neutral, slaty, purpley colour. It's a beautiful neutral, quite frankly. I have no complaints with this whatsoever, and I would use it for a million things. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And I guess once I've knit up enough of it, I'll have to figure out what order I want these to go into, but I'm thinking, I'm not actually sure. I think it might start with the pink, so go the purple, pink. I did have these in order in the way I wanted them to go, and now I cannot think of it. Might have to double check and see, or maybe you guys have a suggestion for me. Which order should they go in? What order should I strap my minis in after I've finished with this? It actually goes quite nicely with that goldy brown too. So these will have a bit of sparkle in them, so they'll be that little bit of added extra to the shawl, and I can't wait. It's going to look so pretty. Just got that in my first ever project bag that I made with my sewing machine on my birthday. It's a Christmas one. It's made of a Christmas tea towel with a black ribbon, and it's so shoddily made, but I love it. I don't know why, but I love it. I think it's just awesome, and it's holding up fairly well considering it was made from a tea towel, and I didn't even seam these edge bits where the ribbon goes in. It's doing better than my Harry Potter one, where I also didn't seam, and look, I was also a bit short on fabric here. Oh, there we go. It's falling apart, so I need to get into the sewing machine maybe this weekend and sew that back up. And yeah, might actually take the drawstring out altogether and fix up these edge bits too, and then restring it. And I might even make a new one because I actually really enjoy using my sewing machine. Time for a sip of tea. It's definitely a tea day. I had a coffee this morning, but it's definitely a tea day. Those are the three things that I'm working on the most at the moment. I'm still working on my daughter's shorty socks. I don't know what's going on. It's never taken me this long to finish socks before. I got our Christmas socks done so quickly. I did 2 pairs in a week leading up to Christmas. I don't know what's wrong, but life happens, and I've been like, I wasn't working last year, so I had a lot more time to knit. I am working this year. I have a segment today that I haven't done for forever. Hand-dyed yarn. I dyed some yarn. So you might have seen on Instagram that I dyed 2 skeins of yarn for my mum's birthday. I was aiming for like a deep maroony sort of red, and it is deeper and darker in real life than what the photo showed. The photo showed it to be quite bright. It's not that bright in real life. It was really hard to get like a true representation of that colour. I can't show it to you today because I already gave it to her on Sunday and it's living with her now. But that was on 100% Cowl. Sorry. Which I've never dyed before. I've only ever dyed like 100% Australian wool from Spotlight or the Bendigo Wool and Mills sock yarn. So that was, it took the dye so beautifully and it came out so nice and it was so soft. I couldn't believe it. I got that yarn from a D-Stash account here on Instagram, BD-Stash. Pop it down here. I got that. I got 3 skeins of undyed yarn and a project bag for $15 plus 13 dye pots, like dye stock pots, big ones and little ones, for $20, which is amazing. I thought I was getting 5 and I ended up with 13, so thanks for that, B. And yeah, it was so much fun dyeing it up for her. So yesterday I had a bit of an awful morning. I was in a minor car crash at the end of last year. On my way to work one day, I got sandwiched between two trucks and like one side of my car got scraped a bit. I was fine. Trucks didn't even notice. They kept going. Like I was probably complete, like one was coming over, the other one was coming over, and they obviously didn't see me there, and I had to like slam on my brakes and swerve a bit, and it was awful, and like all the side of my car got scraped up. And since then I've had some mild anxiety when I'm driving, not from me driving, but when I see other people on the road doing things they shouldn't be doing, like swerving in their lane or going through red lights, which has happened a lot lately. Motorbikes being really silly, my anxiety just goes boom, and it's really bad, because in instances like that you realize you have no control over other people's driving whatsoever, and you could be in a horrific accident through no fault of your own and you have no control over it, and that is terrifying. So yesterday morning, after dropping my kids off and everything, I had to duck up the shops to get some milk. I was going through an intersection and it had one of those things where you can turn right across the intersection if the way is clear. I am coming through the intersection and this silly person decides they're going to turn right through the intersection. I had to slam on my brakes, and luckily no one was hit or hurt or anything, but it was not safe for her to go. She should not have gone. I should not have been put in that position, and it's just frustrating that that could have been a really serious accident through no fault of my own. And I just got home, like went and got the milk and came back home, and I was just in such a funky mood for the rest of the day, and I was like, I have so much I need to do and I just don't have the mental capacity to deal with it, because all I kept thinking about was what if. I'm not normally a what if person, but for some reason since that incident with the trucks, I'm just not doing great with other people's silliness on the road. So I decided to dye some yarn instead, because I remembered how much I enjoyed doing it for my mum, and this is what I came up with. So I did 5 skeins of food dyed yarn and 1 with acid dyes, like the gay wool dyes. I had ordered those off Etsy a few months ago, not a few months, a few episodes ago, I think. I think it was just after Christmas I got them, actually. So it's a couple months ago. I may have been converted. I do love my food dye yarn because I love how simple it is and how easy it is to get the dye. Just go to my supermarket. But my gosh, dude, the acid dyes, they do a thorough job. Let me show you what I have got. First off, 2 of my favorites. I did 4 of the Bendigo Wool & Mills sock yarn, the undyed one. I still had 4 skeins left, so I thought I would dye those up to start with. This is navy food dye gel. Navy gel food dye. I do that every time. I love it. I absolutely love them. I'm probably going to use these together. I'm not sure what in, but I absolutely love it. I love how I've got these really dark bits here and these really light bits there. My problem with this is I was actually going for more of a solid tonal as opposed to something this variegated. I've learnt my lesson with the food dye one that you need to like pre-mix it and then pour it in, but for some reason when I pre-mixed it and poured it in, it still took to some yarn and not to other. I'm a bit frustrated by that because yeah, it wasn't supposed to be this variegated. I think maybe next time I will mix it up in the pot and then lower the yarn in, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe I just won't use food dye again. I don't know. It is very soft though. I don't know what I did differently this time around, but the yarn turned out super soft. Might have been the abundance of wool wash that I poured over them this time to get rid of the vinegar smell, because there's none of that left. But yes, I absolutely love these. This one's a lot darker, I feel, but if I undo them both, they look sort of tie-dyed-y. There we go. So the ties are a bit of a mess somewhat. Oh, see, look how dark that bit is there. So I feel like this top skein doesn't have, like that's the darkest bit there, doesn't have as much dark dye as the bottom skein here does. Like that's got that spot there and the spot up the back is the bottom one as well. So yeah, one's definitely darker than the other. So I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to knit up with them to, I don't know, maybe it'll just have to be something where it doesn't really matter if there's a difference in the skeins. I don't know if alternating them might be the way to go. I don't know. I'll give it a go. If it doesn't work, I think I will try alternating them. And if it doesn't work, then I guess I'll just rip it out and try it a different way, won't I? Because I think that's the best part about knitting, is as frustrating as to undo something you've worked on and you've put time and effort into. It's really simple and easy to undo your mistakes. You just frog it and start again. I worry I'll lose my knitting mojo if I have to frog things too often though. Alright, so that's my blues. I did another one. I wanted to try the peach gel food dye again. I did do very little amount in there at first, and it just looked like a really, like it went sort of that colour to start with, but it was just really plain and there was very little variegation in it. So I did want a variegated yarn with this one. So I just kind of moved the yarn around, and then I grabbed the gel food dye and I just kind of squirted some on top and left it. So you've got some bits that have like really, oh, where did that go? Yeah, so that one's got a really obvious dot on there, and the darker bits is obviously, yep, there we go, where the gel sat. But I love it. Peach is not really a thing for me. It's orange is not really in my color wheel, but this is actually really pretty. I'm not sure what this will be, but the way it looks like that now, obviously it's going to knit up differently. I don't know, I feel like it could actually be a really cute cowl. Yeah, I might have to do another cowl with that and see how it goes. I think it will look very pretty. Or I don't know if a beanie is going to work. Not that I've made a beanie out of sock yarn. Or even if I got like a peachy or even an orange or a cream or something, a mohair, and held it double, just to, you know how it slightly changes the colour? Might be able to do that and make something really magical with that. I'll keep going with the food dye yarn and then I'll show you the Gables one. I also had another skein of the 100 grams of wool that I got from BD Stash. This one was an 80% wool, 20% mohair. I've never dyed mohair before, so I thought I'll give that a go. And what I did is I literally just put this one into the pot, got my teal and my purple gel food dye, and just like squirted it randomly all over the skein. Oh, while it was unwound, it was just sitting in the bottom of the pot. You're noisy. Peachy. Hi, you're noisy. She's 11 and she's just so precious. She's also like the most vicious cat in the world. She doesn't look it right now, but if I don't move my hand, I will lose it. I love her. She's awesome. She's me in cat form. I need affection, but don't touch me. Anyway, back to my yarn. So yeah, I just squirted it randomly all over because wasn't sure how it was going to take the yarn. Take the dye, because I've never dyed this yarn before. I wasn't really sure of anything, and it was just an experiment. I'd already done the 4 that I really wanted to do, so the last couple of ones I was just doing just to, you know, distract myself and have a bit of fun with. I love this. I love how it's bluey and purpley, but also like really green in some sections from the teal, which is very, very cool. I'm not sure what this is going to be. It's not, I know it's got mohair in it, but it is not the softest of yarns. It is a little bit grabby, like, see, like that, it's grabby, but I feel like it will probably wash up really nicely after it has been knit. Oh, just look at that. That is so pretty. I can't wait to knit that up. This is not going to be socks or anything. I think this might be, I don't know. I don't really know what to knit. I really want to knit a jumper, like a sweater, cardigan, whatever, but I'm kind of struggling to find a pattern that I absolutely love and that I absolutely want to knit up, and then I have the yarn, needles and all the tools I need for it, so it's a bit frustrating. So I'm kind of stuck with accessories at the moment: socks, beanies, mittens, scarves, cowls, all that kind of stuff. So if you have any suggestions on what I could make with this, obviously I guess I'm kind of limited as to what I can knit because I've only got one of them, but you know, something that's 100 grams. I think it's 100 grams. I'd actually have to weigh it. I feel like this has less meterage than others. Yeah, give me some suggestions. The colours are beautiful and I feel like it needs to be knitted up into something that just shows them off. So yes, I was very happy with that beautiful accident. Now, when I did this and had them all squirted all over the place, there was a lot of leftover dye in the water. And mind you, at this point, I'm just experimenting and doing whatever the hell I want. So I decided to cake up 100 gram skein of 100% wool from Spotlight. It was already like a creamy color and I decided I wanted to over dye. I caked it up and put it in the middle of this skein while it was in the pot. So it wasn't skeined up and then like unwound, it was a cake. I'll put a photo in here because it looked amazing, and it started to pick up like the extra, because remember I just dribbled this all over the top, so it started to pick up these dots and flecks of dye that was left in the water, plus all the extra stuff that was sitting in the water as well. So I let that sit for a while. I rotated it a couple of times, and then I actually filled up a like sauce bottle. We've got like empty ones I use for cake decorating. I grabbed one I hadn't used before, and I mixed up some rose pink food dye and water in the middle with a little bit of vinegar, and I sat that in the middle of the cake and squeezed it until it was empty and all the middle had been filled up with pink, and I rotated it a couple of times so I could make sure I got it right in there. I panicked a little bit after I'd done that, thinking, oh my god, I've just saturated the middle with pink, and knitting this up is just going to be like pink, 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 white with all these variegated dots through it of the teal and purple and blue. That is not what happened. I ended up with this beautiful candy striping pastel looking wonder, and I will never be able to make this again. So let me undo that. So oh, there you go. You can see where the pink is from the middle. So the pink did not completely saturate. There's pink and white, almost like candy striping in the middle. So that's going to be awesome to knit up. So when I was rescanning it up afterwards, I could see that there was still quite a bit of white in the middle, which was awesome because, as I said, I was terrified. I just made this massive blotch of pink. And then as it keeps going, you can see the blues and the purples and the teals from the purple and the teal food gel dye. I say that every time. So yeah, and those little extra dots are where the cake just sat in on top and absorbed the extra gel dye straight away. And I love this. This will be something, I'm not sure. This is actually really soft. This is the softest this yarn's ever turned out as well, which is awesome. I'm such a fan. I don't know why. It makes me really happy to look at this. I think also because it was accidental. It could have turned out like just a muddied, disgusting, brown looking mess, and it didn't. That makes me happy. So yeah, for someone who has no idea what they're doing, I don't know the science behind dyeing yarn or anything like that. I always get really happy when my experiments turn out into something that I can't wait to knit up and see how they look. See, look at that. I just love that. I would buy that. If anyone out there who actually dyes yarn professionally would like to recreate this for me properly on some sock yarn, I would be mighty grateful, because I would love socks in this color, and this is not sock yarn. This does not have the meterage to fit my big feet. So yeah. Tea, and then I can show you my last one. I can't believe it's been like 15 minutes just talking about yarn that I've dyed. This is insane. I've never normally have this segment go for this long. Haven't had it for quite a while actually. Ta-da! So this is using the Gables dye. They're bush dyes. I'm fairly certain it is. I used two colors mixed together to make this. So I'm fairly certain it's iceberg and willow. So this is just Beautiful. So what I did is I actually mixed up the iceberg first, which is like a light blue, and I poured that in first and put the yarn in. This was supposed to be like a pale blue. On the like card they give you that shows you the color samples with a bit of wool attached is a pale blue. Mine came out bright blue. I don't know if I used too much dye or what, but it was bright blue. It was a bit too blue. And it also kind of reminded me of my Summer Skies one that I've already done. So I was like, oh, I don't really want something that blue. Maybe I'll put some specks in it and that'll change it. So I grabbed the willow and I just like sprinkled it over. I'm wearing gloves and a mask and everything. Mind you, I was being very safe yesterday because I was not about to risk doing something stupid my first time around. Sprinkled it over the top, let it sit for a minute, rotated the yarn, sprinkled it again. And this is what I ended up with. So I was worried that I'd used too much dye because I basically used 2 sachets. So 2 20-gram sachets for 100 grams of yarn. I think you're supposed to use about half of that. But I had no dye left over in the water, none whatsoever. It was completely clear by the time I'd finished. So it absorbed, and nothing ran out of this. It absorbed every last bit of dye, and there was even a bit that escaped some. So I think I did fairly well. Now what I love about this, apart from the beautiful greeny colour, you can see I've got a bit of dark bits there, did go much more evenly than food dye, I will say. Look, that's what I want to show you. See those specks there? They're like a browny goldy colour in real life, and they look so pretty with this green, and I love them. If it was legal to marry a colour, I would probably marry this one because I don't know what it is about it. I just love it. And the colour, I don't know, it was just another happy accident. And I can see why if you do this professionally, you need to take notes, because this was not the colour I set out to make. I set out to make a light blue colour with specks of dark green. Not what I ended up with. So at the same time, it's so beautiful. If I wanted to make this again, taking notes of what I did means I'd be able to make it again. Probably. And I also understand why excuse me, I inhaled a fibre. My goodness. I also understand why dyers try to do like a big batch in one go as opposed to trying to recreate the same dye lot, because like I could do this 4 or 5 times in a row with the exact same measurements and not get the exact same result. I can even have put 4 or 5 skeins in and not gotten the exact same result between those 4 or 5 skeins. But yes, I am a little bit disappointed, sorry. I just noticed that when I was about to start scanning it up again. Oh, there's a little bit there that's not quite completely taken with the dye. But that's okay, because that's what variegated dye's all about, yarn's all about. Can't have it all looking the same. If I wanted yarn that was all one colour with no tones, no tones or variegation through it, I'd, you know, go to Spotlight. I can't remember the last time I bought yarn at Spotlight. Oh, I can. It was for my daughter, but that's a different story. So yes, I'm completely in love with this, and I cannot wait to knit this up. This will be for me. There's actually a good chance this will be socks, just because it's so pretty, and I'd love to see this on my feet peeking out of my boots. Be awesome. This is also the Bendigo Wool & Mills undyed sock yarn. It's a, I feel like it's an 80-20, but I'll put it down if it's not. So yeah, that's it. That's my 6 skeins of hand dyed yarn for this episode. I don't have many purchases this episode. I did buy a few things, but they were for my mum. I bought a beautiful skein of 10-ply yarn from Maria of Obsession Yarns called Aramanthine, I think it's called. I'll pop it here. It was so beautiful and so up my mum's alley for colours. It's a beautiful variegated purpley, reddy, maroony thing. Oh, it wasn't really red, mostly purple. And I got her a couple of stitch markers, which I actually put onto my skeins of maroon yarn that I did for her. I put them on so it looked all pretty professional. So thanks for Marie. Thank you to Marie, because you made my hand-dyed homemade skeins look beautiful. Whereas if I just left them the way I did them, they look like this. So hanging a little stitch marker on there really put the class level up a bit. But obviously while I was getting stuff from my mum from Maria, I thought I'd get myself some things too. I already have stitch markers for my eldest daughter that I use when I'm knitting things for her, like they've got skulls or pumpkins or witches' hats, anything spooky or creepy or cool, in all honesty. It's right up my daughter's alley. My youngest, however, is a bit of a I can't say she's like a dainty little princess because she's not. Yes, she's little, like she's a dot of a child, but she's rough. She's so rough. She's my little racket and I wouldn't have her any other way, but she loves ballet. She loves Emma Wiggle because she's a ballerina. She does ballet lessons every week. She is just a ballet lover. She's a little ballerina, so I got her some stitch markers to use, or I got myself some today's not my day. I got her some stitch markers. I got myself some stitch markers, sorry, to use when I'm knitting for her. So there are, let's see if I can do this. There's a little ballerina there. And there's some beautiful pinks and florals. And then there's a little point shoe there, which I love. I made the mistake of showing her and she wanted to play with them and I had to explain that these are for mummy's knitting. These are not toys. But I love Marie's stitch markers because this ring that she uses here is just so perfect for knitting. I've used them when I'm doing socks. I'm using them for my sock head cowl. They're just perfect. And she also does ones with lobster clasp, which is what I got for my mum because she's a crocheter, so she obviously can't use ones that slip on needles. And yeah, they're perfect. Excuse me while I get the other ones. Alright, and then I got these ones I actually got these ones for my mum as well before I remembered that she doesn't knit anymore. So these are sea ones. My mum used to have like her bathroom all decorated in sea stuff. So there's the beautiful blues, there's a dolphin and a turtle hiding back there. How beautiful is that? So I'll use those actually I might use those when I'm doing this because that will look very pretty together, or even my green and purple one. And then because Marie is a beautiful human being and her customer service is top notch, she sent me a beautiful new free kitty cat stitch marker, which I love because I love things cats. And obviously cats is a big part of Marie's brand. She actually just had a competition on Instagram lately where she named a little black cat statue that she uses in her yarn photos, which is very cool. And she did mention last time we spoke that she was going to have a new base soon. This is a 40% merino, 40% alpaca, 20% silk mini. It's about 50 meters, approximately 50 meters, and it's called Lakeside. And it is, look at that bend, like it's so squishy and so soft. And I love it. I think this is dyed up so beautifully with the browns in it. Like, how nice is that? It's absolutely beautiful. I'm completely in love. I love it. Thank you, Marie, so much. I'm not sure what I will use it for, but I'm sure I will find a use. It's going to go on my front of my collection with my minis, I think, because the colours are just so beautiful. I'm a big fan of blues, so anything blue that I have is always going to be front and centre of the collection. Apart from that stuff, I also got the undyed yarn from BD Stash and a project bag. I actually gave my mum the project bag because it was like red and cream florals and it was just perfect for her. It matched her yarn and I ran out of time to sew her one, so I gave it to her. Mind you, when I actually got the project bag, like I'm not fussy about my project bags, but the colours weren't really my style, so I know my mum will love it and she will appreciate it and she will use it. So yeah, it went to a good home. And the pots, I got the dye pots from BD Stash as well. And the only other thing I've bought recently is a pattern. I have been watching Wattle and Wool, which is Astrid. She's got a really cool video podcast here on YouTube as well about her knit ventures, and I love watching her. Astrid, you are a wonderful woman and an extraordinary knitter, and she's also an amazing designer. So she's got a few patterns on Ravelry. She's got a few free ones. I also grabbed her Nat's beanie one, which is free, and there's a beautiful winter, like a white one that she did for her mum, which is so beautiful. Her mum is just glorious. I love her mum as well. She features on the podcast a few times. But the one that I bought is Slip Into Summer Cowl, because she's like, I'm catching up on all her episodes, and the first time she mentioned it on the, I was like, oh, it's so beautiful. And actually I'm wondering if my blue yarn that I've just done doesn't become one of those. Not that they're very summery colours, but I think it might work out nicely. I don't know, I'll have to check and see what the yardage and meterage, I should say, because we're in Australia, and yarn is and everything I have to use for the pattern. But yeah, I got her Slip Into Summer Cowl pattern. It was only like $6 or something. It's ridiculous. She should be charging a little bit more than that for this beautiful pattern, and I can't wait to knit it up. So thank you, Astra, for designing such beautiful things, and I will let you know how I go with it. Now it's time for some life updates, a bit of tea and a yarn. So I guess technically it's tea and a yarn today, but that's okay. Let's get into it. I have been working a bit lately as a relief teacher. I've been working at a school that I absolutely loved, and I was repeatedly in the same grade 1 class because their teacher was getting married and all this stuff. And I loved the school so much that I decided to put my name down for the tutoring program that the government has initiated here in Australia because of all the kids that have been left behind due to COVID and homeschooling and remote learning and everything this year. So I gave all my details, put my name down, and spoke to the principal about it, and basically got the job straight away just from a 5-minute chat with the principal, which was so cool. So Thursdays and Fridays I will now be tutoring grade 1s. I was so happy to get grade 1s. I'm like, I've just been relief teaching these guys. I already know all the students from one class that I'm going to be tutoring. So I've got about 6 to 10 students depending on the class from each class, and I've got different sessions of the day that I'll be tutoring with them. So that's really cool. I'll be doing that Thursdays and Fridays. So I start this Thursday, and that will be, I'm assuming, till the end of the year. I will have to double check on Thursday when I sign the contract. I probably shouldn't even be mentioning it on here yet because I haven't signed a contract. I could be getting all my hopes and dreams up for nothing. And then I'll read the contract and go, what? It's only for 3 weeks. No, it won't only be for 3 weeks, but you know what I mean. Like, yeah, I'll have to keep you updated on how it goes. So yeah, I start on Thursday, and I just can't wait. I can't wait to be back in doing permanent work with the same students over and over. It's going to be so rewarding. And saying that, I'm terrified because I can teach, obviously. I love teaching. I love being a teacher. It's my calling. I am a teacher through and through. And I can teach lesson plans, and I can plan lesson plans, and I can do all the in-classroom stuff that I know how to do. I've never tutored before. Like, I'm not really sure what the structure is going to be and what the expectations are going to be, but I guess that's all stuff that I'll find out on Thursday. There's 2 people actually running the tutoring program, so I'm guessing they'll be like the people I report to, so that should make it a bit easier, knowing I'm not just going to be out there floundering by myself going, I don't know what I'm doing. So that'll make it a bit easier. I also applied for a part-time position with them. I'm not expecting to get it though, but if I don't, they're going to probably up my tutoring out days to 3 days a week instead of 2, which would be great. And then I can have Tuesdays off still, so my daughters can still do the ballet lessons and just have that day to catch up and do everything that needs to be done, and still do relief teaching on a Monday, which would be awesome. Because if I'm a teacher and I'm going to call in sick, it's going to be on a Monday. So yeah, I think that's all that's been happening in life at the moment. Yeah, I don't think there's much going on. We're starting to get everything ready to go camping for Easter, which I can't wait. We are also starting to look for a dog. I will actually, I'm going to bring her over and probably introduce you to my cat. Peachy. Hi, honey. Oh, Come here, baby. Oh, you gotta let go of your blankie. I crocheted her a blankie. She likes to snuggle with it. This is my big, fat Princess Peaches. Say hi. Look, who's this? Up here. Hi, honey. Hi. She's got the best resting bitch face. Oh, look at that. She's so sweet. Oh, look at that, honey. She's so beautiful. She's 11 now. I've had her. I went to my sister's one weekend and my husband messaged me and goes, we've got a cat. Look how fat she is. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'll put you down. Yeah, you're okay. She's, oh no, there we go. See, she likes to buzz. This is, like, she's not hurting me at all. It doesn't hurt. She's just, yeah, she's barely even biting. It's just a leave me alone thing. She's very sweet. She's not at all, actually. I take that back. She's not very sweet. Anyone that comes over here is generally going to be lacerated by her because she's a look but don't touch cat, which I kind of love. But as much as I love her, I am missing having a dog around. She's not, unless it's cold, she's not a come sit on your lap and snuggle with you kind of person. If you've got a blanket on your lap, she'll be there in a heartbeat. But I miss having like the goofy dog that's licking your face and saying love me and snuggled all up to you. And I miss taking dogs for a walk. I've gained like 5 kilos since my dog passed away, probably from eating all the food, from grief, but also because I don't have an excuse with big puppy dog eyes looking at me going, take me for a walk. So yeah, I'm ready for another dog, and I think my girls deserve to have a younger animal. They've only ever had old animals because we've had all of our animals since before they were born, except for Rain because we rescued him a year and a half ago. We adopted him, actually. He rescued me. And yeah, they deserve to have a puppy, and they're never going to be allowed to have a kitten because my husband says no more cats. I think that could be it, guys. I'm so lucky I've only had 1 interruption, so I should probably finish up before I end up with more because there's someone coming to my door right now. That was just, Mummy, look what I've made, which is a bit cute. She'd made a walking stick out of connector pins, like the texters. When she first walked in, all I'm thinking is, please don't let it be a gun, please don't let it be a gun, please don't let it be a gun, because when we were kids and we did that with the connector pins, they were always guns. Lack of education and different generation. Until I see you guys again, which I'm hoping I can still stick to my 2 weeks on Tuesday routine. If not, I'm gonna have to try and figure out something depending on what happens work-wise. You might be seeing me either really early in the mornings or really late at night, or on the weekends locked away in here again while the husband and children are just entertaining themselves, I guess. I don't know, we'll figure it out, we'll sort it out. I don't know what life's gonna bring, but I'm hoping to stick with every 2 weeks because I really do enjoy this. Hopefully I get some more knitting done before the next one. Yeah, until I see you again next, I hope you are all looking after yourselves and your crafting is bringing you everything you need it to. Joy, peace, tranquility, the just immense pride of making something with your hands. It's rewarding, yeah? Please look after yourselves emotionally, physically, mentally, socially, because all of that is important, and so are you. Bye.